Hey y'all, it's Lindsay. I thought today we could do a what I eat in a day video, so let's get to that. Daybreak this morning was crazy gorgeous. I was just like, whoa, look at that color. It's kind of hard to see in the clip that I filmed, but in real life, it was one of those things where I was like, wow, that is incredible. I love the vibrancy of the color that came through with that pink. Oh man, I don't know if it shows up as pink on the footage as it did in my eyeballs, but oh, so pretty. Today is a little bit of a busy day. We have homeschooling to do. We have a variety of extracurricular activities to manage and navigate. And I think I'm going to sort of show you how my meals sort of like impact my glucose. Oh, with my CGM here. I logged in this morning on my NutriSense app. My wake up time, NutriSense has a variety of things you can do. So I started off with having it focus here. So I did put a note. It kind of goes in reverse order there. So my note saying that I woke up and I woke up startled today. So I felt like that was going to jolt my blood sugar. But it hadn't yet at that point. I do tend to experience a little bit of dawn phenomenon. And then I just put that I was having a drink, which was coffee right in there. I really appreciate the notes opportunities here, the fact that you can add those little different things into the actual app so you can really hone in on what is causing the spikes and how long it takes for your glucose to come back down to a baseline level. So it's been a fun little experiment for me. So, okay, let's go do things and I'll show you when I have food. Before I go manage people and things, I wanted to go ahead. I haven't scanned in about 2.5 hours. So we're gonna give it a wee scan. It got it. Sometimes if I'm wearing a thicker shirt, I find that I have to scan a couple of times because it struggles to read. All right, so it does look like the dawn phenomenon was in effect for me. I hit 90 there this morning. When I first woke up, 6 a.m., it was 79. 79. So, a bit of a spike, not a spike, I guess a rise, a dawn phenomenon rise is what I should call that. I do tend to have a little bit of a higher typical baseline on my glucose than what I think most people would say is appropriate, but I think the beauty in the continuous glucose monitor plus the NutriSense program is that I can really determine what is impacting my specific chemistry. Is that typical for my specific chemistry? Is it the average? Is it normal? How is it impacting my specific body? And that is something that I have found to be very interesting and somewhat valuable in my life. I had a moment the other day where there was like a high stress situation on, a few days ago, like a week ago, I had a high stress situation. I had another one just a couple days ago. And my blood sugar spiked. I had eaten no things around that spike, so I do know that it was that specific moment, that situation that caused the spike, and I needed to, I had, something where I was responding quickly. So, but my blood glucose came back down relatively quickly. I think it was within about 30 minutes that it came back down. So, metabolically speaking, I think that my blood glucose is in a pretty solid spot, and learning what triggers that I have to create those spikes helps me to have peace of mind to know that the metabolic impact is not something that's, controllable by my specific way of eating. And I do wonder how long it took my body to go from being metabolically unhealthy to more flexible, agile, and just have a better baseline, as it were, for my glucose. If you're new here, I am Lindsay, and I have been following a low-carb, keto-friendly way of life since 2016. I like to put out these what I eat in a day videos. I really enjoy doing recipes and just talking about health and wellness in general as it pertains to my specific experience and quest for that health. So if any of that is interesting to you, I would love for you to poke around the channel, see if my content is for you, and consider subscribing and hanging around a while. And for my returning viewers, thank you for being here. Apparently this is the location for videos talking at you today because I have a box on my counter where I can actually set you and you're at like the perfect height. Okay, I have prepared breakfast, but before I show that to you, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick glucose reading just so I can see how my breakfast impacts me. Where are we? Right at 93 on my glucose. I'm gonna show you what I've got loaded up for breakfast, and then we'll check my glucose throughout the next couple of hours. Here is my breakfast. 2 keto-friendly waffles. I've shared these in a what I eat in a day video, but I don't know that I have a dedicated video for what I've done here. I have some El Ruderai yogurt or fermented dairy. It just came out of my Instant Pot this morning, so it's not fully chilled yet, which is why it's a little bit looser than usual. So I'm gonna put that back in the fridge shortly. I did mix in a scoop of the Perfect Keto Strawberry MCT Oil Powder. I do have a discount code in my description box if you're interested in that. This one is my favorite, hands down. And then I'm gonna finish up that cup of coffee. It has been about 10 minutes since I finished eating, and listen, the first few days that I had the CGM in, I was obsessed with checking my blood sugar like every 15 minutes. And I'm still like super into checking the data as often as I can, but I've kind of settled into a more normal, typical, acceptable habit with checking the glucose. So there is all that. We are going to, oh, I need to plug in the meal itself. So I'm gonna pop that in here. When I add the meal, it gives me a little green dot. I can scan through all of my things. Now I shall make a scan and give it a second. I tend to struggle with the actual numbers when it comes to seeing it on the chart. Like it's really like small and my finger does not want to touch the proper one. Okay, so I started eating around 9:43 and it was 93 on my glucose. Now it's 15 minutes later actually, because it took me a minute with the child, and I'm at 88. So far, there's been no negative response to the breakfast I ate. You also can, oh, let me go back and show you that. At the top here, there is a little square that you can touch and you can get a landscape view of your blood glucose. So presently, that 93 is the highest my glucose has been today. Let's see what the next hour and a half to 2 hours brings for my glucose numbers after that yummy breakfast. I've been doing much and many things, but my timer that I set so that I would not forget to come scan my my sensor again after having had that breakfast is going off here in about 10 minutes or less. However, my children are starved, so we're going to put together 11Zs, and I thought I might go ahead and quickly do my scan. Okay, I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to hit scan and we shall see what happens here. Okay. So that spot where it says 93, that is what my glucose was at when I made my note of breakfast. And then it's just come down since then. So it came down to that 88, 15 minutes after I had eaten. And presently it is at 78. And that is about an hour, a little more than an hour actually, since I ate my breakfast. So that particular breakfast is probably, yep, it's sitting at a score of 10. Do you see the 10 right here in a circle? Don't focus on my camera. It just loves my face. It loves my face. So these little circles alongside each of my notes, my meals, those are meals, gives me an indication of whether or not that particular sustenance I consumed is good for my body or might need some reconsideration. So far so good. Let's set another 60-minute timer. There it is. 60 minutes on the clock to make a full 2 hours. Actually, I should probably set it for 45 minutes. Let's be accurate here. Okay, the CGM will take a reading every 15 minutes. And so if I go for a full hour, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Ooh. And I'm positive that we will need to do another round of food for the children's for lunch at some point, and an hour from now. Like, we're doing 11sies now because I have hobbits for children, but lunchtime will come and they will want real lunch as well. So the hazards of raising hobbits is that you are in the kitchen an awful lot. Okay, too much context. I'll see you in an hour. All right, I've switched locations. My light is a little better here. It's about 2 minutes till a solid 2 hours after going through all my situations. Pulled up the app. We are grabbing a scan. We're checking the scan. There it goes. What have we? Let's scroll. Presently, I'm at 93. Okay, so over 2 hours, my breakfast gives me a score of 10, which means that it's, you know, not impacting my glucose negatively. My body is responding to it appropriately. And it is going back up, but that's only... It's been a little stressful as far as schoolwork has been concerned. So I have a feeling that is why my number has kind of like zoop back up. I did not have any coffee or anything. I did have some water, some plain old water, because I was dying of thirst. The hard thing about the schoolwork is when you cannot do it for your kid, right? You can't do that. That's not how people learn to do things. So having to sit back and let them work through the connections and trying to make all of the information make sense, that can get a little bit stressful for me, because I'm like, I just want to fix it. But I also am that mom that wants to just like sit back, and you need to do the hard things, but I'm also going to just bite my tongue so that they can do the hard things without feeling like it's just like a high pressure situation. So I just kind of bottle that up inside. Okay. I am not hungry at all, so that is another value added with that breakfast. It was filling enough to where I don't feel like I need to eat anything. I am still thirsty, so maybe I need some electrolytes. All right, I'm gonna make some Element. I always make it in some hot water because I don't like cold water. I have chosen the citrus flavor. Does it want to focus? It does not. There we are. Citrus. Electrolytes all mixed up, citrus flavor. It's very refreshing, and because I'm so thirsty right now, that seemed like a good idea. So good. I think I'm gonna drink this pretty quickly, and then I actually wanna see what this does to my glucose. Stay tuned. In my tracker here, it was 87 when I first drank and finished that Element. I like gulped that thing down so fast. My glucose came up to a 94, and it's now back down to, what is this? There it is, 82. So no significant impact in a negative way with my Element electrolytes, which is fantastic because they are delightful and I do not want to give them up. I'm hungry, I'm ready for lunch. Here is what I have put together. I have a hot ham and cheese sandwich and some fresh veggies, some of my homemade mayonnaise and sriracha here to dip my veggies in, and I'm gonna have a bubbly alongside that. Typically before keto, this would have been a standard style lunch for me. So I love the fact that the egg white bread is so versatile and, you know, good enough to eat on a daily basis if you want to. I actually used Alicia over at Keto Upgrades Yeast Rising egg white bread. I did make a couple of modifications for myself. but that bread turned out beautifully. And I used the pepper jack cheese, and I also used the Hormel Natural Choice honey ham. This has 3 carbs per serving, and a serving is 4 slices. I'm only using 2 slices, so I'm getting about 1.5, almost 2 carbs in my sandwich meat right there. This guy has 0 carbs. I cannot remember what the carb count was based on my specific ingredients for the yeast risen bread, but overall, a relatively low carb lunch. Whew, I just got choked up on my bubbly. So I finished eating and I'm still like hiccuping from it. It's fine. We're fine. We're fine. I'm gonna go in and I'm going to log a meal and I'm gonna call that lunch. It's 1:36 right now. I think I'm gonna set that as exactly 1:30 since it didn't take me all that long to eat. And all I'm gonna type in here is just kind of like some little notes to myself to help me remember what it was that I ate. So we had a keto, that's not how you spell keto. Yep, okay, so I've logged it over here. And I think I shall go ahead and give a quick scan just because it's fun. All right, we are at an 82. I think it's very interesting to see the things that do spike versus the things that don't. Now, granted, I've only, just finished lunch. It's gonna take it a solid 30 minutes before it truly starts to impact things in a way that could be meaningful. Because it hasn't been very many minutes since I actually consumed that lunch, it's not gonna give me any kind of a score regarding whether it was a good lunch for my blood glucose or something I might want to reconsider in the future. See you in a bit. We have arrived at my favorite part of the afternoon. It is coffee time. So I have a cup of decaf coffee. I put a heavier than usual splash of half and half in the coffee there. So I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy that while I have the girls' dinner started up. It's only 3:15, but evening filled with activities means we have to be a lot more proactive when we have pockets of time. Dinner tonight is leftovers. This is taco salad. I made this last night. I have some ground beef with some taco seasonings. I make it myself. I rarely do it the same way twice, so I do not have a recipe to share with you for that. I have some cauli rice right here for a little textural difference. It's on a bed of romaine lettuce. I put some Colby Jack cheese here, some sour cream, and some salsa. I'm struggling with words. I'm so hungry at this very instant. I just kind of lined everything up so you could actually see the variety of ingredients on my taco salad. I do not think the amount of beef that I have here is going to be sufficient, but my husband's on his way home, so I want him to have adequate amount of beef as well. I think I might go ahead and make up a protein hot chocolate to sort of fill the gap if I'm still hungry, or perhaps later on in the evening. Hello, so dinner was delicious. I do feel like I need more protein, but I'm gonna wait a little while until I make myself some protein hot chocolate. Do I have taco salad anywhere on my face? Okay, cool. We have to go in about 3 minutes, and yeah, more things to do. I have not scanned my glucose since 3:24 this afternoon, so I thought it would be a good time to go ahead and take a scan and then also go ahead and log that dinner. Let's see. I do so much better with the list. Currently at 5:52, it is 89. So pretty good, pretty good. It was 94 at 5 p.m. It was a little stressful trying to get dinner on the table, trying to get children to eat the dinner on the table. It can just sometimes be a bit of a mess. Anyway, I'll see you when I make something more. All right, I'm pretty sure that I popped this out when I got it caught on a coat arm sleeve situation, and now it's not reading anymore. Oh, that is so much sadness for me. Last. I only had a day left on the sensor, so I think we gotta pop that off. What a bummer. Oh well. I'm gonna have to get a new sensor and yeah, figure it out. All right, so that ends my first 2 weeks testing out the NutriSense program. I was not intending on it ending today, but because I struggle with things, apparently I'm just really hard on stuff. If I had gotten my sticker on perfectly, it probably would have lasted a whole lot longer, but here we are. So I would love to do this experiment again to just sort of see if certain foods impact me differently. And I think the nice thing about the CGM is that you can really tailor things to your specific body's chemistry. So if you are interested in the NutriSense things, click the link down below, check it all out, see if it might be a fit for you. And yeah, also let me know if you would care to see more CGM content in the future. It's gonna be a little bit because I don't have another backup sensor or anything like that just yet, so. But let me know down in the comments, and I'm gonna make some protein hot chocolate. Tonight's protein hot chocolate is a base of coconut milk. I added a splash of half and half for a little bit of richness and creaminess. I did half of a scoop of the Isopure zero carb protein. This is a whey protein isolate, so it's a complete protein. I also added some of the Perfect Keto chocolate keto collagen. This does have a little bit of fat in it as well. Collagen is an incomplete protein, which is why I went ahead and added some of the whey protein isolate. And I did add some MCT oil powder in chocolate flavor to just enhance the creaminess in the hot chocolate. And then a couple drops of some peppermint extract. And I cooked all of that, or I've warmed all of that together here in the instant frother, and I think it's finished. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Protein hot chocolate, ready to go. All right, I am gonna go put these things away and then drink this hot chocolate, get myself ready for bed. Everybody else is getting ready for bed, and call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you on my next video.